end of the 2024 NFL Draft. And of course, they went about it kind of the scenic route, but the Packers ended up with 11 picks. Started out with 11. It just wasn't the same 11 as things turned out in the end. However, I think we all saw what the theme was, and that was to get tougher, more physical, aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. So, T, man, what you think about the way things went out? We had the discussion on yesterday, but the way things kind of continued today with the direction of the picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was exactly what we saw them doing. Like you said, getting more physical, getting a variety of defensive talent. Evan Williams being a guy that, I played with his older brother Bennett at Illinois. They both ended up transferring to Oregon at different times. He was just a dog at safety, and he went up in competition from Fresno State to go to Oregon and became an even better player. No matter where he plays for Oregon, it's gonna, or not for Oregon, but for Green Bay, it's gonna make sense. He can, come in and play strong, play in the box, be in there on dime packages as a linebacker, do a variety of different things. And he's a great tackler and a willing tackler more than anything. That's a transition from what Green Bay had in the past. Then you add, just a freak athlete guy in Oladapo in the fifth. Gotta love that. Just a different type of player than they've had in the secondary really in a while. Add two linemen who are potentially projects, depth guys. Obviously, we know how good Green Bay is at just developing offensive linemen. You add another quarterback late who, guys had projected a lot higher than he ended up going. So, if he's able to compete in the room, be quarterback 2 eventually or quarterback 3, you always need some guys there just in case. And then, Kalen King, who's the guy at the end, people were talking about him being a first, second round corner, prior to the season. So is he potentially a guy who comes along down the road, in a year or two and is a high level corner? If so, that's a win for the 7th round.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think that's like you talked about yesterday. It was about finding some possible hidden gems, and this is where you have an opportunity to do that. Even if they appear to be projects, a lot of times, obviously, may be the case for linemen. They may need a little more time in development. But if you look at these guys, I mean, all of them, you can kind of see what the upside is. And starting with the last pick, I mean, Kalen King was a second-team All-American, I think, a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about a dude playing Power 5 football at corner who was balling at an All-American level, and we got him with our last pick in the 7th round. So got to feel good about that. Oladapo is a straight dog. I mean, back to that same theme from yesterday. Evan, I actually hadn't seen him play, but obviously, I saw Bennett play, so I know the family is full of dogs. So I'm gonna obviously look at his film and see, what I think about him. And when it comes to the linemen, I think these are those kind of swing linemen, utility linemen that Green Bay likes. I mean, and from the standpoint of developing them and getting them ready to play, I think we still do have that luxury right now. Who knows what we may do after, the draft? I mean, there may still be some free agent additions. I knew, though, earlier when we signed the tackle from, where was he last? Dillard. Him coming into the league, man, he was somebody I thought was going to ball, So he might be, although he's a veteran, he might be someone who still has another jump to make even himself. So, I think the line is looking pretty good, but from the standpoint of theme, and the thing that gets me excited, man, is that this team, they're ready to go hunt. and they brought in some dogs that are ready to do the attack. So I I think that's what I'm excited most about as it relates to that. Now, when you look at the other teams and some of the other picks, were there any that kind of stood out for you in terms of this guy, I didn't expect him to be here, or any other kind of surprise?
Yeah, I mean, I think the coolest story from today was Quantez Stingers. I think he went to the Jets end of the 5th round. Dude never played college football, and I heard it was a pretty interesting reason why, like family stuff. But goes to the CFL, defensive rookie of the year. I think he played fan control football the year before that, and that's how the CFL found him. And you wind up, going to the Shrine game, dominating there, having a great pro day, and then being a 5th round pick without ever touching the college football field. That's just unheard of. So that's a really special story, and that just sticks out to me.
Yeah, I saw it, and I know they mentioned a few of the things that, like you said, I know it was Lane College, which is where he was gonna go. I think that's where Jacoby. I know that returner went there. Returner that I think it was the Ravens who he used to play for, but that was the college that he was supposed to go to, and then I think something happened with his dad, and then as things turned out, the way that they kept describing it is that he knew he needed to go and find a way to make some money to help the family. So that's how he ended up, going the football route. I think there was a 7-on-7. There was, like you say, the fan control league, and finally got his shot up in Canada. You and I both know. I mean, if you're up there and playing in that open space, particularly as a defensive back, I think the NFL will give you a look if you're a young guy too. Yeah, that was a great story. I think one of the things that was it kind of threw me off just to watch it take place, but I was really surprised by Jerry Rice's son not getting drafted sooner than he did. It wasn't so much like it to me. It's kind of like it was a combination of all the stuff, like everything we know about him, everything we know about his dad, and then if you watch his film, I'm like, how does Jerry Rice's son play as a vertical threat? He's bigger and he's faster than Jerry Rice, and he played at USC, so a passing, program where he got plenty of balls. We saw his vertical speed. We saw his strong hands. We saw things that you got to say, okay, how on earth could Jerry Rice's son drop that far? I would have thought, my thought thinking was, seemed like to me, the 49ers would take that dude on day 3, at the top of day 3, just off of GP. I'm like, how does that happen? But that was the one that was the storyline that had me a little baffled as the day kind of went on. But, I think it's always great to see, guys live their dreams. I always watch Pick 156 every year. So, saw the dude join the Pick 156 club, my pick. And outside of that, man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to now we get to football. All this speculating about who's going to go where, that's over with now. So now we get to watch football. What's your last words, man? We're going to be talking football from this point forward. So what you got on this draft?
Yeah, honestly, I think, league wide, a lot of it played out how we expected, especially early on. And as far as like the Packers, you saw the Bears load up in the division. You saw the Vikings get a new quarterback. So, projecting out, there's going to be 2 rookie quarterbacks day one in the NFC North. You can make a very good argument. We have the best quarterback in the NFC North. At the very worst, he's 1B if you're, a Lions fan. So, from that perspective on, knowing who we bring back, all the youth from the past couple of years who have proven themselves, and then you add in this room of young rookie talent that really we can kind of plug guys into exact roles. They don't have to take on everything. You know, we have leaders and vets at all the spots that we'll be interjecting these guys in. It bodes extremely well. And I think, you know, seeing these guys go into rookie mini camp and then OTAs and just seeing how they gel, it's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a really talented group and a group that the expectations are now through the roof. And certainly so.
And that's kind of where we are at this point. With no more hoping, we expect these young men to go out there and give us their best. And when we saw their best last year, it was pretty damn good. So we're going to close this one out. Hitman's Haven, our draft coverage is over with. It's now time for us to get to some football. Don't forget to follow us, subscribe on YouTube. You are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we're going to see you all at least weekly coming up. And we got some exciting shows coming for you. Until then, go Pack Go.